Hello, I'm Fast Johnny. Welcome to my YouTube channel. This is just an introduction to tell you what I'm going to be discussing on my channel. I will be talking about depression, anxiety, and mental health in general. It's not talked about enough in society, and that needs to change. And hopefully, although I'm not a doctor, I do suffer with depression, anxiety, PTSD, emotionally unstable personality disorder, and I've had a lot of time talking about it to therapists, and not everyone gets that benefit. I myself had to wait over 10 years to get the treatment that I needed, and it was ongoing for a long time. So what I'm going to do is go through my story, I'll give my opinion and what my illness meant to me in a very eventually detailed way. Like I say, this is just an introduction, so it's going to be a fairly quick, short video, this one. So just basically outlining what I want to do and how I want to go about it. I'll just pick the topics in order. I won't go through my whole life history, but I'll just say things that have happened to me. Some of it's going to be very dark, and some of it's going to be very good, because it does. You do have good times in this. So that's my introduction, and welcome to the channel. Please subscribe. Thank you. Fast Johnny back for another bit about myself. I think we can skip the obvious of where I'm from, because you can tell by my accent that I'm a Brummie. Yeah, I'm 43 years of age. I've suffered with depression, anxiety, PTSD, and emotional unstable personality disorder for pretty much all my adult life. It's very difficult to pinpoint exactly when it started, because I was very young, and at the time there was not much help, if any at all, out there for people with my conditions. And like I said, I think I was well into my 30s when I actually got diagnosed. So yeah, I had to make do, knowing that there was something seriously wrong with me, from probably the ages of 12 until I was in my 30s. And well, maybe my late 20s, took years to get seen. I needed talking therapy, but my anxiety meant that I couldn't do it in groups. It had to be a one-to-one thing. There's people really only just meeting me right now properly for the first time that I've known for 20 plus years. I used to play rugby at Spartans Rugby Club. I'm still a member, and I go up there as much as I possibly can because I love the place. If it wasn't for them, I don't think I'd be alive, because they're the only real friends that I have. They're all brilliant. I used to be on the committee of the Unity Association. So, and now I just help out doing work up there when I can, really. I don't have a job with my benefits, which they're trying to get people off at the moment, and telling everyone that they're fine and nothing's wrong with them, even though we all know that that's not the case. Yeah, it's that for you. And yeah, it's been a very difficult and stressful time since the government has announced that they wanted to do this. A little bit of leeway came my way personally, because I'm already on the benefits, and that's what they've agreed to change, but that's no good to anyone else in the world, because basically they're saying you're not allowed to get ill if you're a certain age, and that's just crackers. Yeah, it doesn't sit right with me. What they should do is actually be able to help people with the centres, but they're more bothered about building homes and stuff. And if they built the centres and got everyone who was becoming ill to the right people quicker, then that would actually save lives. Let's be honest about it, because many people don't survive these conditions, and a lot more can be done, and it needs to be more from the government and not just about charities, because charities, while they're good, more needs to be done. Things put in place, like different wings on hospitals, so everyone who can get local. I've got to travel. I know it's not a long journey where I have to travel to, but if it's in the middle of rush hour, it can take up to over an hour and 20 minutes to get there and back. And there's a hospital like 10-minute walk from my house. So I think there should be more done in that respect, to be honest with you, than what they're doing at the moment. But it is getting better. But like I say, I'm starting this channel simply because there's not enough people talking about it. It's not enough of people putting it out there. And social media, YouTube, other things are wonderful things, but people aren't using the platform to simply get the message out there that people do need help. And I will try and help if you comment on it. Like I say, I'm not a doctor, I'm just someone that suffers with mental health, and I can relate to what people are going through quite a lot. Like I say, I can't exactly be qualified to answer all your questions professionally, but I will try and answer all the questions, and I'll do it on a cast. So not just one person gets the answers to the question. I'll try my best to talk about the subjects, and it might sound better coming from me, someone that you don't know, never gonna meet, because it's probably easier, because I've been on some Facebook groups, I've chatted in there, that really helped me personally. But usually someone who, I'm not going to get paid for this, so this is just my free time doing this. So it's easier sometimes, because you do think, well, you're just getting paid, I'm just a job to you. But there are people who it isn't just a job to, it does help in that way. So that is the more about me, a bit follow on from the introduction. I'm not going to go into everything right now, because there's going to be more videos. Please put your comments in, subscribe to the channel, and yeah, the Fast Johnny channel will be all about helping people, and that's what I'm really passionate about. That's what I've always wanted to do since I've come down with this illness, but I've never actually been strong enough to do it. I feel in that place now. So yeah, subscribe to the Fast Johnny channel and watch out for more content. Thank you very much. Alright, it's Fast Johnny back for another one on the Fast Johnny channel. All about wellness and mental well-being. First of all, I'd like to say massive thank you for the people that subscribed. We're almost at 4,000 now. We just got to keep pushing it. So please subscribe to the channel. Some of the comments have been absolutely amazing. I endeavour to get back to all of them comments, or at least leave a like. Everything's very positive. So, as I say, thank you so much for that. Just make sure you're watching the videos. Please like, please comment on what you think I'm doing good or bad. And yeah, that's the massive thank you to start with. The more subscribers, the more we get the message out there to this channel's all about helping people and a bit of awareness. So the more awareness, the better it is for everyone. And it's amazing how many of you are actually watching and subscribe to the channel. So once again, thank you very much. We're going to get into it today. It's going to be about my anxiety. Some of the things that I didn't realise were happening at the time because I didn't know I had anxiety. So I'm probably going to do it more in a light-hearted way, because looking back on it, some of it is quite humorous to me now. If I don't find it humorous, I'll probably cry about it. To be honest with you. So what I'm going to do is try and take you back as far as I can remember it. I don't think I was really that anxious in school, because, well, I might have been had a few chest pumps, but that was not really that bad. I noticed it when I first started work. I was 16, so probably 6 or 8 months after that, so I was probably 17. At times I was walking back home. I only lived down the road from where I was working at the time. Thought I heard something. There was no one there, but I just legged it down the road. I legged it so fast, and there might be a few people at the Rugby Club that comment on this video saying fast, you can't run that fast. But I ran that first. I gave myself a nosebleed because I thought something was there. And well, I didn't look around to find out, but that's sort of how it started the first few times. And to this day, sorry, if you keep fit or anything, or jog, more to the point, if you're running up behind me, expect me to absolutely shit a brick, because I do, because they scare the crap out of me, because I don't know they're there, and they'll just trigger a bit of a panic attack. Some of them apologise, most of them don't. It's very nice of them. Yeah, and it moved on to having sweaty palms in certain situations. I was constantly had sweaty hands. Even when it was freezing, which didn't help because my hands were even more cold because I was sweating. And was probably early, mid-20s, I'd say. It went to the shaking a little bit when I was out. But at this point, I didn't realise anything was going on whatsoever. By the time I reached my late 20s, it was every time that I went into a crowded place, I'd get dizzy. And it's a bit strange when you walk into a pub, you haven't had a drink, and you refuse to be served because they think you're drunk. I'm just like, don't know. It wasn't a pattern at the time, so it didn't happen that often. It just got worse as I got older. So the first few times, it was just like, what the fuck's going on? I had no idea. Chalked it down to something or nothing, and carried on with my life. Suppose. Yeah. The worst part of it, but I can't really. You gotta do one thing. I went to a few interviews because I wanted to move away from my area. We'll go into more detail about why and what I was doing, but interviews, oh my god, some of them were just like a slow torture. But I still hadn't got all of the. What's the word? I hadn't got all of the symptoms completely at the time. So it'd just be sweating, unable to talk. Basically, my interview, oh my god, they were horrendous. All but one. And I don't know why. No idea why this one interview. It was 2011. I had the interview, and so I used to be a chef. So I walked into this interview, and I literally. It's hard to say verbal diarrhea because a lot of what I was saying was absolutely bang on. I got into this interview and nothing happened. I was so at ease, and I just couldn't shut up. It was I never had an experience like it before. I literally went in as Fast Johnny and I came out as good as Gordon Ramsay. And I was just like, we got it. We got the job because I got a trial shift and I know I can cook. So that was one of the interviews that went well. I did actually get the job. That wasn't me being arrogant or anything, but I'd already sorted out where I was going to live before I had the trial shift. So the job didn't end too well. I will go into a bit more detail after that. So I ended up back in where I was, and the anxiety was tenfold as soon as I got back. 10, 20, 100. And then I had this one other interview back where I was, not in the same place, but I did same city. So I travelled down there for the interview, and all of the anxiety hit me at once. We're talking tight chest. Honestly, I thought I was having a heart attack in the interview. Sweat. It wasn't just on my hand. It was dripping out of me, and it wasn't even a warm day. And it was an air-conditioned hotel lobby that the interview was happening in. I think I walked into, as soon as I met the interviewer, it probably looked like I'd knocked down about 7 double vodkas, and I hadn't had a drink, which was annoying. All of it, I felt sick. I couldn't talk, but virtually. And this interview was going on for about 45 minutes. And all I wanted to do was get out. And when the interview is over, you shake hands with the interviewer. I shook my hands with the interviewer, but my hand was absolutely dripping with sweat. And it was a female as well, which made me feel even worse. But I honestly didn't know what was going on. And she rubbed her hand down her top straight away after, and I'm just like, ugh. Yeah, we'll forget about that job then. Walked out the room, walked out the building to get a breather, thinking about phoning an ambulance, funny enough. As soon as I got out, all the symptoms went gone straight away. And I was just like, what the hell was that? I was just like, put it down to nerves. This is about 2 months before I actually got diagnosed with anything, because I was then diagnosed with major depressive disorder and serious anxiety problems. After I'd explained it, and it just sort of been a build up of things. Like I said, it's got worse as I've got older, probably because I've never addressed it properly by then. And yeah, it was always strange to me until it got explained, and then I was just like, well, hang on, that makes sense. So yeah, I kind of dealt with a lot of the anxiety without even knowing, and I still get it to this day. Ooh, I've even when I'm in my comfort zone, I still get dizzy with big things. If I know there's something coming up in, say, 2, 3 weeks' time, I will. It will take me until the very last minute that I leave the house to know if I'm going to go there or not. It's a bit upsetting on Saturday for me personally, because we had Old Boys Day at the rugby club. Brilliant day and everything. I enjoyed it. I bought my ticket a month in advance. And I love all the people there. It was just like, I think it was Tuesday or Wednesday, I started feeling I'm not up for this. And honestly, I up until the last minute, I didn't know if I was going to go. I went. Shall we say I participated in a lot of alcohol, just lager. Yeah, a lot, way too much, and I think we've made out that that actually doesn't make it any better. If anything, it makes it worse. And don't remember much about getting home, but I think I fell asleep at the club, to be honest with you. I remember it being light, and I remember getting home and it was pitch black. So, and there is a photo somewhere of me in a chair with my eyes closed. So I'm guessing I fell asleep for a couple of hours. Um, so that's a bit embarrassing. Just trying to cope with, just trying to cope with your anxiety, and you drink too much and you fall asleep. Yeah, I I'd had a bad week with sleep anyway, so I was probably already knackered, so it probably didn't take much for me to pass out. So um, another one, getting kind of conscious of how long this is going on for, because I want to keep your attention, because to know about this, a few years ago, more than a few, probably about 4 or 5 years ago, used to chew the bed sheet for no reason. Uh, I've never actually told anyone about this because I've never actually put two and two together until now. I did it for years. That was when I was getting really bad panic attacks in bed. When I was waking up, my PTSD was triggering and stuff. I was terrified of going to sleep, which isn't good. But I kind of got out of doing that a few years back, and now it's moved on sort of to my fingernails. Pick, 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 bite them. Actually, had to. I rang my Northcroft the other day, the mental health service, and I says, "Look, is this something that is anxiety, or is it like OCD? Because it is obsessive. So I'm just constantly doing it. I'm not doing it now because I'm literally holding my vape in my hand to stop me from doing it. If my vape wasn't in my hand, I would be doing it, and I think I've actually done casts when I've been doing it without realising. They said they've asked me a bunch of questions. Is it boredom? And I went no, because when I'm interested, I'm speaking to people. I'm doing things that I want to do. I just don't stop. So I've got an appointment in like 2 months anyway. So that's sound. And she was just like, well, if we could squeeze you in a little bit earlier, I said, don't worry. If someone's worse off than me, then don't put that out. I mean, I just want to try and find out what it's all about. Didn't tell them about the chewing of the bed sheets because I didn't think of until after. So I'll bring it up with my shrink when I see him, and we'll discuss it and go from there. And just it it was because my parents were away last week, and they were coming back the day that a therapist had phoned me, and this is embarrassing to say because it was about 10 o'clock in the morning. I've been up since 7. She asked me all sorts of questions, and then she says, well, can see what you're taking. How do you feel that your medication's going? And I was just like, oh shit, I forgot to take it. So I said, thanks for reminding me. I says, I haven't taken it today. Should have. She asked about the stresses at home, which this year have been quite stressful, but I was doing my nails before that, so I think it's just got to a point worse now that I've had enough, and I want to see if I can, if it's that. So yeah, so that's where I am in this one. I'm going to leave it there because I realised that I'll catch you on for like 20 odd minutes now. You'll be getting bored of my voice, like I say. Please comment, pass the message on, subscribe to the channel, and if you are starting to display some symptoms that I've mentioned today, I mean, these are just the ones that I've had. There's probably many more, and if you haven't been diagnosed with anything, don't worry about it. Seriously, do not, because it may be something or nothing. You know, so don't stress about it. I don't want to say leave it. If it happens once, fine. I mean, everyone gets anxious at some point in their lives. You'd have to be a pretty solid saint if you don't get anxious. Everyone does. I'd say I'm not a doctor, but my problems persisted for many, many years. So if it happens like 6 or 7 times, then maybe speak to your GP about it. I don't know. I can't advise you on that, but that would just be my opinion, for whatever it's worth. Yeah. So yeah, that's another one. I've tried to keep it as light-hearted as possible because I know the last few videos have been really, really dark. So that's just my introduction to anxiety. I probably will add to this video at some point. I think I was going to do a completely different video, but I've just got a spare hour here. So I wasn't meant to be at home doing this video. I was meant to be doing this on Thursday at the rugby club. But I'm here now, so be easier. So let's say, drop a like, drop a comment. If you want to chat, I'll try my best. And everyone look after themselves. Like I say, like the video. Please subscribe to the channel. Keep them coming. Let's smash this stigma out the park and let's look after each other. Alright, Fast Johnny out. See you in the next one. Right, Fast Johnny back for another one. It's going to be starting a little bit different today. First of all, I want to say massive thank you and a shout out. 2,400 subscribers is unbelievable. I appreciate it. I thank you for it. And we need to keep this going. So if you do like my content, subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and yeah, drop me some comments. Things that you think I'm doing all right, or things that I'm not doing so well. Might be. Um, yeah, so drop me them comments and I will endeavour to make the content a little bit different or not, or I'll get back to you. Any comment is a good comment. Like I say, 2,400 subscribers is absolutely amazing. It just shows that the message is ready to be put out there. So yeah, thank you again. And I'm going to delve into today's video, which is it's probably going to be a lot about my EUPD, emotional unstable personality disorder. But I have a few obviously other things that kind of bleed into each other, if you know what I mean. So it might be not completely about that, but I'm just telling it from my point of view, my story. So we'll get straight into that now. Oh, yeah. All right. With me, I I hate feeling rejected or anything like that. If someone gives me the cold shoulder, um, probably not even their fault. They don't even know that they're giving me the cold shoulder. Um, it kind of upsets me in a sense, even though it might not even be anything to do with them. I'll be waiting for a week, wondering, what have I done? What? And mind plays tricks on you when you think that you've done something wrong and you can't put your finger on it. You kind of imagine things that have happened. So if it's one person, then you kind of stress for about a week or two until you speak to that person and that person just comes up to you as normal, as a friend, and you're just like, oh, maybe I didn't do anything. Maybe everything was sound in the first place. But I've been stressing for the entire week about what I may or may not have done. And yeah, it's a difficult one. Because could take a day to get out the system, could take a month. Kind of can't avoid that person for a long time, even though you have no reason to, but that's just what your brain's telling you, that you just, yeah, your brain's telling you that you've done something wrong, even though you may or may not have. Loads of things I've done wrong in the past. I'm not going to say hand on heart I'm a perfect person, because I'm not. I'm definitely not. And yeah, the thing is, I probably wouldn't realise that I'd done something wrong when I actually have. And it kind of reverses. I think that I've done something wrong because my mind is just playing them kind of tricks on me. Even though I know in my heart of hearts I haven't done anything, but Um, so yeah, it's I will honestly seek constant reassurance of any person, uh, a friend. I will seriously if there's something that I feel that isn't right, I will sort of overwhelm them with, "Oh, I don't think this is right," um, and they have no idea what I'm going on about. So it is a tricky situation to be in because you think that you've done something wrong, and the person knows that you haven't done anything wrong in the first place. So that is that is difficult for you to get your head around, I suppose. And when you speak to them, the relief is just ridiculous. Even though you've got nothing to feel relieved about. Like I say, this I believe, and I don't know because I haven't looked, I haven't researched that much into it. I believe this EUPD came from childhood, um, from not feeling accepted at this rugby club that I was at, and I wasn't really accepted in the nursery. Um, I moved when I was very young. I think I was 5 when I was young. Moved. Well, I know I was 5. I moved on my 5th birthday, so I came here and didn't have any friends. So that was a pretty weird birthday when you're 5 years of age and you move house on your birthday. You the rest of your birthdays seem kind of shit because from 5 years of age you think you got a new house and a new bedroom. Not the case, but just happened to be the day that we moved. Um, yeah, so very quickly, I think it was about 7 when I went to this rugby club, and I had a lot of problems with being hyperactive. Um, they would probably call it ADHD now, and that wasn't the case with me. I was allergic to E numbers, and it was E211 sodium benzoate that I was most allergic to. So every time that I had that, I went absolutely hyper for ages. So basically, I was sent to rugby to get that hyperactiveness out of the way. So I think it was either under sevens or under eights that I joined, and although I was kind of accepted as a person, I wasn't popular at the club. Wasn't a popular player. Never got picked. It was it was horrible experience for me. Most people would absolutely despise rugby because of it. Um, but I also had, because I had so much energy and my parents didn't know what was going on. I was in Beavers, Cubs, and Scouts virtually at the same time that all this was going on, and I was extremely accepted and well liked at Beavers, Cubs, Scouts. So that's kind of the strange thing about it. I was probably at Cubs on the Friday, or Scouts or Beavers. very liked, enjoyed my time, felt part of it. On the Sunday, I was going to play minis at rugby and felt like worthless. Like I've been there. Was I was made to feel so low. So, and that's just in a weekend. Um, the bullying at school had already started. So, yeah, coming through that at the same time. So, Monday to Friday afternoon, hated being at school. Friday night, loved, accepted, exceptional. Sometimes, quite a few times, we did things on a Saturday as well. So, enjoyed that. Sunday, back to feeling basically like a piece of shit. So, there was a mix of things already in my brain going on of basically things that I liked and things that I didn't like. And them two meshing together, I reckon that's where the EUPD came from. I did in counselling link this kind of thing up, and I think, oh, I reckon that's where it came from. But it wasn't until I was, well, God, when I was in counselling, it was probably about 40, so 3.5 years ago. I'd never really thought about it until I just had this assessment with the psychologist, and then I started piecing it together, and it was me saying it, and literally that's why I say the answers are inside you. Believe me, because as soon as you start to figure it out, then you can figure other things out. So, lots of people are kind of get ill with depression and anxiety, like I say, EUPD, PTSD, and the answers are kind of there, but you just got to find them. I've been to obviously lots of assessments with shrinks and everything, and never sort of came up with the answers when I was in the assessment. But this psychologist that I saw, she was wonderful, by the way. Started linking things together, and then she was just like, "Yeah, great, we can work on that." And I think that's why she took me on as a patient. Obviously, it was under Northcroft, where I'm still under now, and so she didn't. She was just a lead psychologist, and had the assessment with her, and also had the psychology with her. So that was good, because I always sort of had to tell my story so many times and then see someone else, and I'm just like, I don't know who you are, I'm not comfortable. And that's probably why it was going wrong. But this one, I told her exactly what was happening, what had gone on, everything, and she became my psychiatrist. So the introduction, there was no need for an introduction, no need for me to tell her anything new. It was kind of from day one, let's just work at this. And it worked better for me. other people wouldn't be as lucky as me, but I just seem to hit the jackpot at that point. So yeah, and I'm kind of rambling on about it. I'm going to talk a little bit about friendships and relationships. Um, Relationships are really difficult for me because I feel things very strongly. Um, it is every emotion I feel is basically overreaction. Uh, I don't know if overreaction is kind of the word, but I feel it more. So basically, if you're friends with me, you've got a really good friend because I will do anything for my friends. Um, Obviously, if you upset me, I will be more upset than no. I don't want to say normal people because I am a normal person. It's just like I feel emotions stronger, so I get more upset, which isn't pleasant. Um, so yeah, uh, so my friendships are very strong and everything's good there. But obviously, I need constant reassurance. That's the best word that I can talk of to be in that circle because I would. I think it's because I went into something nice on a Friday, Saturday, and I was thrown out of it on a Sunday. Perhaps that's where it came from. I can't really say any more about it than that because I think that is where it came from. And obviously, Friday, Saturday were good when I was a kid. Monday to Thursday, horrible. So it's basically like a head teaser for me. I was, oh, I don't want to say it, but I was probably destined to be ill. If that doesn't sound weird, I think a lot of my illness is man-made. My PTSD, obviously, I've talked about that in the past. That's definitely man-made because of the sexual assault that I had. Um, the emotional unstable, personality disorder, this rugby club. I felt rejected as a kid. Um, I hate being rejected now. Can't really take it, or it ends very badly. Um, do have some probably apologies to make because of things that I've done. Um, for falling, kind of falling in love really easily, and that isn't. That's a horrible place for me to be because I obviously um, it's so strong, and I don't particularly like it. So and that's why I don't think I'm ever gonna date again. It's because I'm scared of what could happen. Scared isn't the right word. I'm a wonderful person to anyone. It's just more what might happen to me personally. I mean, I have in the past self harmed quite a lot. So while it doesn't actually happen to the person on the other side, it happens to me way too much, if that makes any kind of sense. If I feel rejected, I will try and try and feel accepted, but it brings me down. I go into an extreme deep depression, and my to go to start off, I'll start drinking too much, and it will just spiral from there. And then it will be the drinking will depress me even more, and then when I get to that stage, well, the drinking isn't working, so I'll self harm, and then it goes beyond the self harm, and that's when I end up with suicide attempts. And unfortunately, one day it will probably work, but I don't want it to get to that day. That's why, literally, I sort of cut off the source. So if it doesn't start, it can't get to that point. Am I content with that? Content, probably a good word. Does it make me feel bad? Yes, definitely. Because I see couples and I don't want to say it upsets me because it doesn't upset me. I'm really happy for them. But it makes me wish that I could be like everyone else and have that happiness. If that doesn't sound ridiculous. And knowing that happiness and sharing that happiness with someone's never going to come to me. Yeah, it's hard. It's very hard. But I don't really have too much of a choice most of the time, because it will, at the end of the day, it will benefit me. It will keep me alive the way I see it. So that's why I don't want to risk it. And I completely just can turn off, if you know what I mean. No emotion, nothing. You might call it hard bastard. It's a wall. I'll put the barriers up. Yeah, that's the best word. Barriers. Putting barriers up and make sure nothing gets through that. Anyway, I've been probably going on a little bit more than I wanted this video to go on for. And to be honest with you, I don't think I've covered it all. No, I definitely haven't covered it all. So what I'm going to do is put this video out today, and I'm going to be posting a lot this week. This week, end of this week, start of next week. And what I will do is put them out separately, and then I can mash them together, try my shitty editing skills, give that one a go for you. So what I'm going to do is leave this one here, and Fast Johnny will see you in the next one. Like I say, amazing 2,400 subscribers. Please keep subscribing. It's free. Like and drop me some comments, because I'll be so happy to see where I will. If you want to start a conversation, I will get back to you. I will do my best. Like I say, I'm not qualified, but I will do my best to try and help you, because honestly, it definitely happened to someone. So start the conversation. Yeah, if you comment, then someone else might actually be like, oh, I've been through that, and we'll all help each other. That's what this channel's about. It's about awareness and starting a conversation, smashing the stigma, and that's what it's about. So if you think I'm doing this wrong or in the wrong way, and you have any better ideas, I'd love to hear them, because I know that I'm pretty new. So any constructive criticism, please just comment, say you should be doing this or that. Please just do it. Yeah. Don't be nasty about it in the comments. Just be nice, because I'll be nice back. And yeah, that's basically it. So Fast Johnny out, and I will see you at the next one, which is going to be very soon. All right, you all look after yourselves and keep talking to each other. Fast Johnny out. All right, it's Fast Johnny back here on the YouTube channel that I'm creating about mental health. Today I want to talk about medication and some of the stuff that I've had. I think it's going to be a two-part video, because I've had a lot of medication over the years. Some of it has worked rather well. Others are not the case, but and this one's for everyone. So what I will do is try and take you back 12 years. When I was diagnosed, I was put on citalopram to start with, and it's for everyone who doesn't know out there. It doesn't work straight away. It takes about 5 or 6 weeks to really start making any kind of difference to you. But with the citalopram, I went exceptionally the opposite of what I was, and I was hitting the gym quite a bit after like 6 weeks of being on this stuff. First 2 weeks I was saying to my doctor, it's not working. Actually, when I first started it, I felt worse for a period of time. Not that long, but it was, yeah, probably 3 or 4 weeks. I felt worse than I did before. But once it kicked in, I started, like I say, going down the gym, working out. It was absolutely, the amount of energy that I had was absolutely insane. I couldn't barely sleep when I was on them. I'd be getting a few hours a night, and I'd be literally waiting for the gym to open in the morning. I was just lying in bed. I wasn't sleeping at all, basically. It's just like a few hours here and there. Eventually decided I wasn't getting rid of the energy enough, so I took up swimming to do after I'd finished in the gym. Yeah, but I was in the gym about 3-4 hours, maybe, sometimes less. And I'd walk to and from the gym as well, and that's a good 2 miles there, 2 miles back. Basically, spent about 2 hours on a exercise bike in the gym, and then worked on my muscles with the pushing and stuff, and triceps and stuff like that. It still had so much energy, it was untrue. So yeah, went and afterwards did the swimming for a bit, which was alright, I suppose. And yeah, still had loads of energy when I come home. And then I would, yeah, pretty much still have all the energy in the world. So after a couple of months of that, it was funny, some of the stuff that I was doing, because I'd originally been off work, I think, for about a month, and then I went back on shortened hours. So I was a chef at the time, working in the kitchen. So I just couldn't get rid of and I was exactly the same when I was in the kitchen. I was like telling people, feel my muscles, don't I look really hench and stuff like that. I was just high as a kite, honest to God. It was, I'm not going to say it felt bad, because I'd felt bad for so long. It just wasn't, um, it wasn't right, should we say. I wasn't correct, but I didn't mind that one bit. So what happened after that, I went back to the doctors and asked for something to help me with my sleep. Diazepam, um, miazepam or something like that. I've had them, nothing. It just would not, nothing would get me to have normal sleep. I've been like that for many years, uh, without noticing really anything really wrong. Yeah, I fixed it, and I did it in the most strangest way, because I've done it before. Um, I stopped drinking last year. I did it for a whole year, just like a 1 year challenge. And when I was on the citalopram, I wasn't drinking anything for like 9 months, and I was still wide awake at night and stuff like that. This time, when I stopped drinking, I after about 3 months, I just got this random normal, what people would call normal sleep pattern. So I was, yeah, and uh, the year was up about 8 months ago now. And I, I don't drink as much as I used to. I probably still drink too much, but it's nothing like what it was. But we'll get to that in another video. But the sleep pattern hasn't changed. I'm still in this, what people will consider normal sleep pattern. And before, it was just when I was off my head on the antidepressants, the first citalopram, I was couldn't sleep, and yeah, continued like that. So what I would say is, obviously, if anyone can, there's got to be other people that have had this kind of side effect, if you like. So you'll probably know exactly what I mean. Um, Others probably at the time just found it hilarious. Um, yeah, at that time, I found it quite hilarious as well. And it's a long time ago, 2012, and things have moved on, shall we say, a lot since then. So no one, I didn't know what was happening, so I didn't question it. Like I say, I've come on a lot in the last 12, 15 years with mental health. I don't think the doctors were questioning it. Um, if I knew what I do now, I would have paid for and put myself through counselling, psychotherapy, and everything at that time because I was literally, had virtually zero outgoings. So I was still picking up some money from work. So I was probably earning about £300 a month. And my outgoings was like £40 in a month. So, you know, I had about 200 quid that I could have gone to see someone. But when I was in that moment, I didn't know because no one, I don't think anyone mentioned talking therapy to me at that time. So um, it could have been spoken to about. I wouldn't know. Um, I can't really remember that far back, and I was so when I was in a really dark place and came out of it. I just didn't question or ask questions or anything, which I should have done. Um, well, lie to you. I was in my in my 30s. I was a grown man. You know what? I should have said something, and anyone that really saw me in the 6, 7 months that I was on them just saw a completely different person. Um, like I say, I was never really, as soon as I was told, "Oh yeah, you're doing well, you're doing well," they didn't really look after me like that afterwards. There was no thought of sending me to deal with my problems again. I only recently, in the last couple of years, have really come out and said everything. Maybe three last 3 years, I've been totally candid with people of what I've been through as a person in life and what has sort of caused me to feel this way. But at the time, I was just completely stunned, and that is a thing. Is I think with it now, it did take me a long time to get to see a therapist, and I believe the waiting this time's probably a lot better now. But you're talking 6 months. But I think if people could treat the problem, and while people are on their hopefully working courses of antidepressants, then that's the way to do it because you would just get the natural highness of what you're taking, but you'd also deal with your issues. Um, in life at the same time, which would be a lot smarter than what I did. I don't know, seriously, I don't know how it works really now because I'm under mental health professionals and I have been for years. But at that time, I was just under a GP who, well, the first one was all right, but I think she left that for like pregnancy leave or something. And then I got another doctor. I think after about a month of taking this Talafram, maybe a little, maybe 2 months. I'd say 2 months of taking this Talafram. I had this new doctor. She's not going to come out well in this video because, well, like I said, I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm going to be so candid with everyone. Um, I said that I'm fine because the tablets were making me like that, and there wasn't any question after 6 months, and I I was suffering with very, very severe depression at the time. When I first got diagnosed, it was off the charts. So they should have noticed something wouldn't be right after a short period of time, and they should have, again, time, years past, training, research goes into everything. So I'm not criticising what might have been at the time, but it was my sort of decision rather than taking out my hands to try and come off these tablets and see if they worked. Probably the worst decision that I've come up with. Well, one of them. Many. I'm not perfect. I've made a lot of bad choices in life, but this one was probably up there. But I think, and probably today in today's life, would have been taken out of my hands. So after 6 months of being on the Talafram, I was started to take off them, and oh my god, the first couple of days I was fine, and then, but I was told to come off them gradually, have them go once every 2 days, then once every 3 days, once every 4 days. In the fourth day, I was coming down with really nasty withdrawal symptoms. I felt like I had the flu, and I didn't, because as soon as I had a tablet, it perked me up. No end. I had fifth one that I went 5 days without one, and I was to just to show you the effect that I had. I couldn't sleep. I was shaking and shivering all night, and I think it was about 7:30 in the morning. I got up to have a drink, and I was just like, I've got to take a tablet. At 7:30, I've been awake all night. I was not fit to work. I was in work at 12 that afternoon. 7:30, there was no way that I could have even left the house. I took my citalopram tablet and I went to bed. I made it to work at 11 o'clock, like fresh as a daisy. Nothing wrong with me. And that's when I had the problem with this GP, because I booked an appointment straight away. I said, look, this isn't going very well because I'm feeling so ill. It was you'd probably say more your body gets used to it rather than you're addicted to the tablet, if that makes sense. Because I don't think addiction's a good enough word because uh, I quit smoking years ago and I still have the occasional cigarette. And that's because I'm absolutely gagging and I'm still addicted to smoking. Um, with the tablet, you sort of know why you will. You know why you're not feeling the best. You know exactly why, but it doesn't really exactly make you run to the box and say, "Oh, I'm just going to continue on with my normal dose from now until ever." But anyway, long story short, I went to the GP and told her about these symptoms. Her words, honest to God, like I say, this is a truthful channel. She turned around and said, "Well, you should just book 2 weeks holiday off work and just accept that you're going to feel like crap for all of them." That that was the help that I got. This is 2012 in the Stone Age. Um, Funnily enough, I haven't seen that doctor at the surgery again. Um, so she must have left. I hope she left anyway. I hope she's not even a nurse anymore. So, but yeah, and what happened after was I got something. Apparently, it was increased anxiety. It was like electric shock syndrome. My body was trying to jump out my skin. If that doesn't sound really weird, and that took absolutely months to go. Probably about 4 months, and it went really subtle, if you know what I mean. Um, it went so subtly that it might have been for about a week. I didn't realise it wasn't happening anymore. I was, I was just one day thought about it and I thought, oh, that hasn't happened for a while. But I still occasionally, to this day, get the electric shock syndrome, and I've been told by people, "Oh, it can't be," and I'm just like, "I'm telling you, I am," and I've never been listened to on that. Um, One has come up with the suggestion it might be increased anxiety, but they're saying it can't be linked to that. But I'm telling them that it is because I know. I mean, they're not the ones that have taken the citalopram and come off it and felt like that. I have, so they should probably listen a little bit. But yeah, and so I've come off the citalopram. I'm looking at how long I've been on here, and everything was fine for about 4 or 5 months. Not perfect, but it it was all right. I was fine, and I hit a massive downward spiral because something must have happened. Uh, can't really remember what, but something must have triggered the depression and anxiety again. And they thought, oh, we'll put him back on the citalopram. It didn't work the second time at all. There is a word for it. It's I've been told it many times, but I can't remember what the word is. It's actually for a medical term. It's not a big word, but I just can't remember what it is. Just they the best of them I've best thing I remember it being said is, yeah, that happens sometimes, and there's no logical reason why, but it does. So the second time that Talipram didn't work at all, and I've been told, ooh, I think we're going back to 18 months ago, maybe longer. I'll give it some credit. I'll give it longer, a lot longer. But my GP now said I would have kept you on them for at least 18 months, and just like it's no good telling me now. But there you go. Technically, it was my decision, but yeah, technically, it should have been taken out of my hands, like I say. So that is a little brief introduction. Please like the video and please subscribe to the channel. Like I say, if these just help one person, then it's what I'm in it for. I would just want to help people. It just get the word out there, because I've never had normal non-medical people to talk to, and it's a lot easier for someone else who can watch, say, my videos, or I don't know if there's anyone else, but someone that's actually been through some of the things and can understand. I think that's a lot better than having someone that has gone through university. Very clever people, don't get me wrong, brilliant people, but just sometimes on a level, you need someone that you can relate with, and hopefully I'm going to be that person if you're watching this. Anyway, so what I would say to people who are living with people with mental illness and these tablets, checking on them all the time. Make sure they're taking them in the right dose. I'm going to sound like a hypocrite because, honest to God, I never do it. Always read the label. Yeah, I don't, but it is important. Some of the things it is there for a reason. It's just look at the side effects of things, but I don't read that. If I look at the label now, I'll look at the side effects and see what could happen. But I won't. I'm terrible. Yeah, I'll just give it a quick glance. I could say, yeah, I've got glaucoma, which I have, but yeah, that's not the reason that I don't read the leaflet. It's not that I can't see it or anything. It's just that I'm just lazy and can't be bothered. But I think even if you don't want to read it, and you've got family, your medication, give it to your family to read. That's what I've done that to my mom. I've yeah, let her read, see what happens, if you know what I mean. Like I say, I have been on a few different types of medication, and while I want to get the content out there, I can't do it all in one video because there's different things that I want to say, and I want to kind of break it down as best I can. So that's why this video is a bit longer than my usual ones, because it's important. Medication is very important, Basically, I need it to survive. So that's the way I look at it. What I will do is I'll leave it there for today. Any comments, just leave the comments. I will try and answer as much as I can and try my best to get back to you. But yeah, I'll leave it there. You all look after yourselves and look after each other. And Fast Johnny, we'll see you in the next video. Thank you. Alright, Fast Johnny back here for another one. Just going to talk to you about the list of my medications that I've had. This is the second part. Just basically where we picked up the last one, where the citalopram didn't work for when I had it the second time, and I was put on sertraline or sertraline. That also did very nothing for me, really, which is a shame because I knew other people that had been on it and they all said it was quite good. But so I was a bit gutted that it didn't do anything for me. But I think I was in a really bad place at the time. So my condition was actually getting a lot worse over I think I was on it for about 8 months, 8 months maybe, a year. And I was getting worse and worse and worse. So it ended up it's the night of Frochgroves 2. I took an overdose with it and I ended up in hospital for the night. It was a horrible night, and then I was told to come back off it, and I don't think it was the medication. It was just a case of me getting worse. The medication did not make me do that. It just wasn't helping at the time. So yeah, it sent me back a little bit, well, quite a lot. But when I came off it, I seemed to have a bit of a better time of things as soon as I come off it. So there was a short period of time, so about 3 to 4 months, waiting to get seen by mental health professionals. I was already on the list, but I was kept on getting passed from pillar to post with them. So when I got seen by the mental health professionals, they put me on venlafaxine, and for a while again it seemed to work a little bit, and I was okay. And I had another breakdown, which was a tough one. It was the worst one that I had. I spent 9 days in hospital because of an overdose and self-harm as well. I ended up having a seizure in the hospital, which is a good place to have one, I suppose. But then I was sent to the Hope Centre, and I was under Northcroft. I went to Northcroft and they gave me mirtazapine on top of the venlafaxine, and that worked a treat. It's what I currently take now, which is, I'm not perfect and I do really get bad times, It's not like stop the health self-harm really, but I do it a lot less. So it seems them 2 tablets are suited for me more, shall we say. And there was another one that I was on pre-gabalin. They put me on for my anxiety. I'm not really sure what, if anything, that did much, because it was meant to calm me down, so to speak. But no, I don't know if it did anything, because I didn't feel any different. I was on it for about 18 months, which is ridiculous, because that's how often you get seen by the professionals at some points, unless you're in crisis. And someone said, well, I think you should try coming off it, Jonathan, and we'll see what happens. You know, do it slowly. So I did it very slowly over about 3 or 4 months, I think. Didn't have any problems coming off it. I was totally fine coming off it. And yeah, because I took it so slowly because of what I'd been through in the past with coming off the citalopram, I really went as slow as possible. I was on 3 tablets a day. I went down to 2, and I did that for 2 weeks. Then I went down to 1 for 4 weeks, and then it was 1 every 2 days for a couple of weeks, 1 every 3 days for a couple of weeks, and eventually, after about 3 or 4 months, I was totally off them, or I didn't feel any kind of issues with coming off them. And I didn't feel any different, to be honest with you, so I'm not sure what they actually did. It was just probably a bit of a trial experiment, see if that works on him. And yeah, that was... So, been through some difficult times, like I say. I'll pick them up in other videos. But what I'm on now for my meds is venlafaxine and mirtazapine. So that's pretty much where I'm at the minute, which isn't a problem. So I take them every day religiously. Well, I'll say that. I'll take them most days. Well, I'll take them all the time, but I'll remember to take them. Occasionally I can forget, because I've got polyarticular gout, type 2 diabetes. I'm not even fat. I mean, I will show you when I lose a few more pounds, I'll probably just stand up and show you a picture when I'm in my house or something. Just to prove that I'm not fat. Yes, I probably will be sucking it in. Yeah, so that's where I'm at the medication at the minute. I don't believe in just medication. It's not one of them ones that just on its own will help. It takes a hell of a lot more. It takes therapy, speaking therapy, talking to people, basically getting to know your illness a little bit. But then again, I don't think that's complete. But I think there's too many people that just put you on medication. Oh yeah, you're doing better. We won't get to the root of the problem. And that's unfortunately what happens. They don't get to the root cause of the problem, so you never deal with the issues. you just give them medication, which kind of masks it, because it's hard to say, but if you need medication for your mental illness, somewhere there's something that's gone wrong that is in you, which is what I found. The best bit of advice I actually gave myself is, oh well, I actually sort of came up with it myself, is the answers are always in you, if you know what I mean. You have the answers in your brain, but you just got to find them. I mean, I know there's lots of different things and lots of different reasons, but you just got to find the reason, and then, okay, I know what it is, I have the answer, now I can achieve what I want to achieve by addressing that issue. And, you know, take your time. Don't go, oh yeah, it's because of this, because it might not be just because of that. It's, you look at things as you get older, like me, I'm 43 years of age, you look at things very differently. So it's a difficult one to turn around and say, yeah, I know that straight away, but there might be something else that you possibly don't know. I'm not having a wee, by the way, I'm watering some grass. Yeah, so you need to find what's wrong with you and then deal with them problems one by one. Don't try and deal with them all at once, because obviously you get them all at once with your mental illness, but if you deal with it, you just won't deal with them all at once. You just got to take it steps at a time. Do it at your pace, not someone else's pace. If you're in psychology and stuff like that, and counselling, any kind of that, don't take it at the counsellor's pace. Take it at your pace. Make sure you are right before you leave, before you're discharged or whatever. Make sure that you've asked all the questions that you think you need to ask. You have all the information that you need to know, and you know, going forward, what you need to work on. Like I say, when I first got diagnosed, this stuff really wasn't about, and I still think they're occasionally, many ways, still trying to find their way, shall we say, and come up with new ideas. They'll probably do that a lot. Like I say, leaps and bounds since I've been diagnosed, but there is still a very, very long way to go. So yeah, that was just part 2 of the medication. I'm not sure when this video is going to come out. I think it's going to be today, which is Friday. And what I'm looking to do next time is I'm going to talk about Lincoln Park, and more specifically Chester Bennington, and offer my honest opinions on that. And because obviously, I mean, didn't know him personally, but we shared quite a few painful experiences, and I will offer my just honest opinion on what happened, and also obviously the band's got back together. I'll give you my thoughts on that as going forward. So I'll cut that one now. So I will call that the day, and I will see you at the next one. Fast Johnny out. Alright, Fast Johnny back for another one. Just another quick thank you again for subscribing and watching the content. It's absolutely amazing the amount of people that are subscribing. Please keep doing it because it helps out the channel, helps out the message. And what we're going to do with this one is get into sort of work what I've done. Some of it's good, some of it's pretty bad, but I try my best to cover everything. So what we're going to do, dive straight into it. Left school when I was on work experience. I was a chef. I was sent on work experience there for a school. Did a week. As I've discussed in the past, I hated school. So getting out of the school environment and into the work environment was pretty good because it really helped not having the school problems, shall we say. So I think I was sent there for a week. Thoroughly enjoyed it for that week. Just before it was probably lead up month before Christmas. Did the week, enjoyed it. Asked if there was any part-time jobs going. Said yes. Brilliant. So they sort of said, yeah, we'll take you on, kind of thing. I didn't hear anything back after for a couple of weeks, but because it was local to me, I walked in, said there's a part-time job going. I haven't heard anything since, and just said, oh yeah, we'll get you some shifts, and got a phone call about half an hour later saying we haven't got anyone to do the work today. Can you come in? A couple of hours? Yeah, sure. It was around Christmas time. Christmas fairs were going out. I'd only had a week, like I say, about 30 hours experience, maybe tops, and I didn't really know what I was doing, to be honest with you. That shift didn't end very well. The head chef was stressed out. Some of the second chef at the time, but apparently wasn't performing at his best, and I'm the one that got it in the neck. So yeah, that didn't go amazingly well, and I was pretty timid, so I let it stew for about 3 or 4 days before I went back and said, have I been let go or something? And the boss of the pub went, no. Explain the situation, and you could see that I was a little bit nervous, shall we say. And the next shift, I walked in, and the head chef literally took me under his wing, apologised, and said, look, we'll make sure you do better next time, and we'll work with you, which is what happened. I did that for about 3 or 4 months. Then the school holidays came up, but the head chef was on holiday that week, so I I worked full time for the week. Um, very confident at the time. It was brilliant, all working perfectly well. So I had a good week at work. Then had to go back to school on the Monday. Um, then I got told off by all my teachers for not doing my homework, just while I was working. So I can't do my homework and be at work at the same time. One of the teachers, English teacher, turned around and says, "Well, you got to decide what you want to do. So you can either work or be at school. So you're over 16, so you can. It's your choice. You can do school or you can stay at school. There's nothing stopping you. Nothing's keeping you here." So that night I was working anyway. I walked in and I didn't have to say much because I walked in after school and the gaffer just sort of looked on my face and he was like, "Well, we've got full time hours for you, but you're going to ask because I can see it in your face. So, yeah, we'll discuss it after your shift." Brilliant, not a problem. Straight away after the shift, said, "Yeah, there's your hours. Fine." Says you got to go and leave school, so we'll give you tomorrow off because you're gonna have to go to into school and sort everything out. So, which I did. Um, it was all brilliant. Um, after another year of working there, everything was fine. It was brilliant. Um, the first thing is that went really wrong was the head chef and the manager um, both left after about a year, 18 months after, and got complete idiots in that didn't last long anyway. But um, the new head chef wasn't the nicest person in the world, to put it mildly. Uh, I hated working there at that point. Uh, it's amazing that I managed to stick it out another year because it was just horrible, the abuse that I got. Because he got all his mates in to help him out, and the abuse that I got was absolutely ridiculous. Um, after he left, I was already starting to get the really bad stomachs with anxiety of going into work, and so they got a kitchen manager in instead of a head chef. The first thing they did to me was give me a verbal warning for being off sick. Um, that was nice of them. Uh, the doctor at the time was treating me for a stomach ulcer, which I didn't have a stomach ulcer. It was anxiety, but didn't know. No wonder it didn't get better because there was nothing there to get better. Um, and that was the nicest thing that when you're sick, you get a verbal warning for being ill. And that was the first conversation that I'd actually had with the new people. So I think I lasted about. I ended up having a month off work because of this illness. Um, after 3 weeks, it actually just went. But that was just anxiety. I was just worried about it. I managed to style it out properly for another 6 months after, and I was kind of running the kitchen as I was head chef, and I went on holiday. As you do, you get 4 weeks holiday a year. I only took like 2, 3, maybe, and yeah, I'd been replaced when I got back, which was, nice of them. Thanks for telling me. I mean, I hadn't done anything wrong. We just got replaced, and I was just like, oh, do you know what? Ain't worth it. So I left. The manager at the time lied and said that I'd been sacked to the people. And just thought, no, I hadn't. I left. So my friends knew the truth, and I knew that the manager was lying, but it doesn't matter. I then went to work with my dad for a bit. That was labouring for a construction firm. It was hard work. I enjoyed it for a bit, but then the depression was already showing its ugly head. So I think it lasted about 3 years, and then obviously shut down again. So I needed time off, but I just quit. That's what I did. Did have a funny one. Whose lock? I lasted 2 days there. Because what happened was, told me to do this stuff, and then I was sort of left to do it on my own, like making spray gun things. So after 2 days, I was hauled into the office, and you're not doing enough. You're only doing like 1,000 a day. I'm just like, okay. And he says, well, you've got to speed up or we'll let you go. And this bloke in a suit I'd never seen before in his office, and I was just like, you know what? You won't let me go. You can fuck off. I'm out of here. Off I popped. Then, trying to think of what I did I was off work for about 8 months. And ended up going back to where I previously worked as a chef for the second time. Good manager, good kitchen manager there. Got on with people that I work with most of the time. Some of it was abusive, some of it wasn't, some of it was good. I was sort of, I wouldn't say I was sort of more in control of the stock at the time. So I basically knew everything in the fridge and freezers, which is absolutely, it's a ridiculous thing to know. We're talking about sell by dates, use by dates and stuff like that. I just, my memory was of everything was that good. I could literally be on holiday and phone up my boss and say, I think that's needs moving or thrown away. It was that ridiculous. That's a lot of food as well. Eventually, my boss moved on. Which was a shame. Don't know if it would have made me stay there because I was really at that time really struggling with my mental health. Um, I'd basically made the decision I was going to leave, but I didn't know what I was going to do. So the new people came in, very nice people. I got on with them, totally fine. It was not. It was good working for them, but the decision was already made that I didn't want to be there, and had a few interviews that had gone pretty badly, and I got this one interview, and then it come down to the references, and I just thought, I don't know if my boss is going to be too happy giving you a reference because I haven't actually told him that I want to leave. And this job was different city, so I literally came back, handed my notices in. He was sound, gave me the references, fine. Said, yeah, good luck. Shook my hand and everything. Totally respect to him. And yeah, off I popped to a new city. Was it the right move? Probably not, because I was just running away basically. It's the best way I can describe it. Went to work as a chef in this other place. Started well, went brilliant. Didn't get on with one person there, but it was just a work thing. It was because she was pregnant. I was replacing her. It wasn't a. It wasn't an issue, as in we didn't like each other, because we did actually get on. As friends, it was fine. She tried to help me get a place to live, stuff like that. We just didn't work well together. It happened, but for whatever reason. But you know, talk to each other, friends, fine. And I got through the first Christmas there, and it was about February. So I was a sous chef there, and I got a letter, I think it was about February anyway, asking to come and see the manager, well, the owners, the next day. And I was sacked without any kind of warning. They even said, we'll give you brilliant references because you're brilliant at your job. And I'm just like thinking, why are you sacking me for then? So that took me a little bit by surprise, as they've actually taken time out to write that letter. And I've had to go in and make money for them, believe it or not, and they know that they're going to sack me. To say that I thought it was a bit harsh, a bit of an understatement. I thought it was very, very naughty, but you know, shit happens, I suppose. So I ended up going back to the old place. Welcome back with open arms, not a problem, but because I've been running away from my problems and I had to go back, that's where everything really hit the fan. I was so unhappy. Losing this job, it absolutely it broke me. It it was probably, should we say, the final straw from being depressed to absolutely severely depressed. It was just the final straw, and I threw myself back into work. I was working like 90 odd hours a week. I wasn't functioning as a human, and it's at that point that I got diagnosed with depression and anxiety, and my boss at the time, very, very good about it. Um, yeah, I just couldn't function at the time, so I went off sick for a long time. About a year later, I was. He said, "Are you ever going to come back?" I went, "No, probably not. So let's just leave it." So we left it, and that was sound. Um, yeah. So that is kind of my work loss. I did do volunteering at cancer research for about 9 months. Um, that stopped when I needed a knee operation from my rugby playing days. And my mental health had taken a massive hit during that time, so I ended up just not going back. Probably a bad thing to do, just not going back. But I was in contact with them sort of, but I didn't leave the volunteering at cancer research in a proper way that I should have done. Uh, I regret that because I should have been probably a little bit more honest. I think I could see it coming, but it I should have probably done. Well, flaw of mine. Yeah, I should have done things differently. If I had it again, I would have. But I think it stems back. If you think you from the sacking, if you think you've been treated like that in a paid job, uh, then going and having an honest conversation with someone that a job that you're not getting paid for. I was getting a lot of shit off the job centre at the time, um, which made me worse, and that's why I ended up on ESA and PIP. So yeah, it's a tough time. That was about 8 years ago, and I haven't worked since. Um, don't know if I'll ever work again. Probably not, but we'll see. That's up to other people. Apparently, not me. You know. Um, yeah, like I say, the one, that one where I got sacked. Only time that I've ever been sacked. That that did break me. That broke my heart. Uh, if I'm not bitter about it, but if I sounded bitter, then I apologise. Um, yeah. Um, I realised that I kept you for about 25 minutes now, so I'm going to let you go. like I say, please subscribe to the channel, watch the videos, like the videos, any comments. I'll endeavour to get back to all the comments, or do try my best. I think I'm going to do a video in a couple of days, but it might not be the one that I want to do. I don't know, because there is one that I want to do, but it's up in the air, because there is something I want to talk about, but I don't even know if it's a thing. So I don't know yet. But as soon as I find out, I will do that video. And I won't keep you in suspense. I'll say, well, this is a video that I wanted to do. So like I say, just look out for the next one. And thank you so much for watching and subscribing. It means a lot. Getting the message out there. Like I say, if anyone's ever had these issues in work, I can't be the only one. Yeah, drop in the comments. I'll try and get back to you, as I hope the workplace has sort of caught up a little on the help that they give and the support. I don't know, but I hope they have caught up a little bit on the support that they offer employees, because it was non-existent for me when I was working. So yeah, so I'll leave it there, and I'll see you at the next one. All right, Fast Johnny out.